What's up, everybody? This is Cyrus. Welcome to SDM. We do talk about topical, relevant stuff here as well. And there's an article that popped into my feed that is really depressing to me. And I think it's depressing to most people who have sensible, functional, healthy brains. It's called Yes, Kink Belongs with Pride, and I Want My Kids to See It. This is a article on the Washington Post by a Lauren Rowello, and I almost wanted to spare you the whole article and just summarize a couple of the main points. So, this woman is postulating that there's nothing wrong with exposing your children to pride parades when you have men with ball gags in their mouths being whipped on their behind by other men dressed in leather and things like that. Basically, she says, with my own children catching glimpses of, quote, kink culture, they get to see that the queer community encompasses so many more non-traditional ways of being, living, and loving. As much as I want them to spend time in queer spaces so they can be with families like their own, I also want them to know that they shouldn't limit their understanding of what relationships or expression looks like to whatever is most familiar. I want them to see that they can make their own ways in the world, so virtuous, and know that they'll be supported and celebrated by their communities. If we want our children to learn and grow from their experiences of pride, we should hope that they'll encounter kink when they attend. How else can they learn about the scope and vitality of queer life? So, if you're thinking about getting out of the West, that the West is falling apart, I don't blame you. Plenty of places to go. South America is a favorite for a lot of people. Uruguay is a place that many of my friends have been moving to. I'm very privy to most of Asia, especially because the whole Asian continent, the culture is so far removed from this culture. And what we talk about a lot on this channel, obviously, is dating and exploring relationships and improving your love life and basically other cultures. It just, in my view, way healthier relationships between the sexes. What we're seeing in the West is a bizarre cultural breakdown where the people who call themselves the progressive left, what they are really doing at this point is they've tried to break down so many barriers. There's no barriers left to break, so they're beginning to chip away at the barriers that are supposed to be in place. For example, children do not have the ability to give consent. So if a child cannot give consent, then they should not be exposed to sexuality, because what this would be by definition is grooming. So this is how people who are pedophiles, some things I can't say on YouTube, but this is how they think, because they they want to normalize this type of thing so that they can groom kids into engaging in these types of acts. So an article like this one kind of shows the rock bottom level that we're at in the West during this cultural breakdown. So I think being in the West right now means that you have to understand and be aware of this culture war that's been going on for a long time and take a firm position in that fight. Of course, you should be taking a position on the side of decency, morality, spiritual self-awareness, but there is a faction that is opposed to all of those things. And I do think that this faction wants to see a gradual destruction of the West. So how does this relate to you? How does this relate to your life? Well, when you meet people, and so again, in this channel, I'm directing these videos primarily towards men, but if you're a woman, you may benefit as well. But when you're meeting women, be mindful of where they stand with this type of thing, because it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. If you stand behind like the message in this article, then even if you're a woman, that still makes you, I think, a truer definition of creepy. I had a video, my last video was, what does creepy mean? And definitely when you have an ulterior motive in your actions, that you want to see some kind of change where it's okay for children to be exploited and to be exposed to things that they just shouldn't be exposed to. That's a very twisted ulterior motive that if you meet someone who legitimately feels this way, and clearly, this Lauren Rowello, let me just try to zoom in on what she looks like. I don't think it's possible. You meet someone like this, Lauren Rowello, you need to just be on guard. Don't bring people into your life who support ideas that are harmful to kids. Like if you're on the dating market, like, do you want someone to be raising your future children who thinks that your children should be exposed to sexuality because it's healthy for them? As in, like, not just normal sex. No, I mean, I don't mean like a love scene. I don't mean Titanic with Leo and Kate Winslet. I mean like balls in the mouth, gagged gimps at a pride parade. Next, I just want to mention how much of a disservice an article like this does to the actual LGBT community. Some of the most wholesome people that I've ever known have been gay couples in LA. My neighbor was a married gay couple. There is no way they would stand behind this. Again, the most wholesome people I've ever known. If you needed anything, they were there to support you, and they looked out for everybody. And I miss them. And compared to how I grew up, man, I would chop off my pinky toe to have been raised by my friends in LA, the gay couple. So because you're gay, it doesn't mean that you have some black hole where your values and your morality and your spirituality should be. Most people, I think, in LGBTQ communities would look at this article and cringe. And then when you look at the comments of this article, if you scroll down, then that hypothesis is realized, because a lot of people are upset about this and saying, you are being the thing that people who hate gay people say the gay people are like. So you are pushing the conversation back. Somebody says that, does anyone with an opinion, no matter how warped, get equal space here? The author of this article is like an exact caricature of what the anti-gay people in 1900 said acceptance of same-sex attraction would lead to, exposing children to filth. Why did the Post choose to publish this? So look, my feeling about this article is we're reaching a crescendo of the West falling apart. At least I hope it's a crescendo. Maybe the crescendo is still to come. Maybe there really will be just a slow destruction of society. Maybe some foreign power is the one responsible for it. I don't know. But what I will say is that you have the power to be in charge of your life. And there's many wonderful places to go in the world, which is not the United States, not Canada, not Australia, not England. Maybe the West has to go through this. It has to battle this thing out before it relearns its own sense of values, its own sense of morality. Those are my opinions about this, but it's really a sad state of affairs. And I don't know. I'm really flabbergasted. I mean, this is a new channel. It's very sad that this has to be the thing that my first video like this on this channel, but so be it. So thank you for watching. Again, I don't know. I don't know what to think. Anyway, please subscribe to this channel if you're here. It would really help me out if you hit that subscribe button, and then I'll keep making videos like this. Hopefully offer some kind of perspective, some kind of clarity, so that together we can digest this type of thing and we don't go just completely insane.